Hey there, Mustangs. We are to week 2 of the RISE test, and you knocked it out of the park on week 1. I've already been able to get in and see average scores on the writing test for those who have submitted. The thoughtful presentations you put together for those pieces to make your cases strong. You did yourselves, you did your teachers proud on how well you formulated those arguments, and it showed. Now we move on to a few different kinds of RISE tests. This week we are doing the RISE Language Arts test. This is like your English class. All the things you do with your English class during the day, this is where the RISE test gets to measure how much you've grown in that area. Now our plan is to give 2 days at least for this test. So no one should be beyond the halfway point by the end of today. I'm actually going to have at the bottom of the screen here a little indicator of what question item that might be that you don't want to go beyond. If you get to that question number, go back and check your answers. The problem is if you go real fast through all of them and come back tomorrow to do the test, you will not be allowed to see any of the questions that were in the past. You can only see the ones that you haven't done yet. So don't rush it. You've got at least 2 days to work on this test. Take your time, use your scratch paper, and do your very best. Don't go past the halfway point because we'll have another day to get to worry about that for tomorrow. The final thing, and I know this is a little long for our morning instructions on it, the final thing I'm super excited about that we're going to start doing this week and continue on the next 2 weeks is your little progress chart that you did in our window for our M games from last week is new this week, and it's more individualized. Starting this week, you'll have your name on that sheet, and it's also going to have on there how you did on the English Language Arts test last year. That is your score to beat. When you finish this test on at least the second day and your teacher's next to you to help submit, it's going to tell you what your score was. It'll give it to you in some number like 447. But we've also got a nice conversion chart that would let you to convert that into what we call our TMI score. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 system that makes it a lot easier. I'm looking at one here that's a 447 score that converts to a 2.93. This person almost hit the 3. On the back, you can actually use a scale to figure out if you got a 443, what that would be in the TMI. So that's why you have a colored back on this. When you finish this test, and this won't be today, it'll be tomorrow at least, you'll be able to submit. The computer will immediately give you what your final score was on that test. You're going to write it down on your sheet, and then you can convert it to the TMI so you know how good of a score was that compared to what you got last year, and that's what you're really aiming to beat. Also, don't forget, you get stamps or signatures from your teachers for being on time, thoroughly using your scratch paper, bringing a book, sitting, reading quietly when finished, and completing and double-checking your answers. Those are big, big things. If you get those stamps, it goes into our window, and it will be part of our drawing. At the end of this week, we'll do one drawing, and then we'll do lots of drawings at the end of the RISE testing. The more names you get in, the more chances you have to win. With that, remain seated, please. Permaneceros sentados, por favor. Keep your legs, arms, and head within the desk at all times. Do your best to show how smart you are, and enjoy the ride.
You should have found a stick of peppermint gum at your testing station. Please enjoy this refreshing treat as long as you are actively doing the tests or reviewing your questions and answers. Please make sure you keep your wrapper. When you are finished and have double-checked everything, you are ready to submit.
Your M-Games personal training chart tracks your work on 4 important things: being on time, thoroughly using your scratch paper, completing and double-checking your answers, and bringing a book and reading quietly when finished. At the conclusion of today's session, your card will be stamped for as many of those categories as your proctor feels you completed today. For every stamp you earn, your name will be entered into the prize drawing at the end of the 4 weeks.
All cell phones must be kept in the cell phone pouch in the room and not in your pocket or backpack. If it is still with you, please make sure to put it in the pouch at this time.
Please remain seated during the test. If you need assistance, raise your hand and the proctor will come to you. Keep in mind, the proctor cannot help you solve, read, or explain any of the questions on your test. As always, use your scratch paper to figure out the answers or take notes on the test. Writing down your thinking will always help you do your best. Remember to use the dictionary, earbuds, calculator, and other tools given to you as well.
Make sure you do not submit your tests without your proctor standing next to you. When you're finished with your test and decide you are ready to submit, please raise your hand and the proctor will help you.
Your proctor will also remind you what your previous score was so you can beat your score for your own personal best.
Once you have finished, you will need to sit quietly and read a book. No other activities can be done at this time. You absolutely cannot disrupt other test takers in the room. For this reason, we recommend you take your time and don't rush through the test. There is nowhere else to go once you're done.